I started to be interested in freedom of speech issues when I was a kid, actually through humor. I was very fond of this Finnish humor magazine Pahkasika, and by that I sort of like started to look more of all the magazines and newspapers are sold. And in the Helsinki Central Railway Station there was a kiosk with all kinds of papers from all around the world. And I realized there's a newspaper, the official newspaper of the socialist Soviet state of Karelia. So I started, it was called Neuvosto-Karjala. So I started to read it. It was just like maybe 4 or 6 pages long. It smelled really bad, and it was ridiculous in many ways. You realized right away that this newspaper is not telling truth about anything, probably. You know, it was probably 1986, 1987, the Soviet state was already on the edge of collapse, and they were making news about, you know, some kind of issues which are not really important or relevant at all. For us, it's been really easy to solve any issues of freedom of speech what we've encountered when we've been traveling, because we are 2 young white males, look like backpackers. We kind of like had really good ability to hide ourselves as journalists. We had actually a background story that we are movie film students who make kind of like a travel diary. But we have been interrogated in Cuba. We were several hours in the immigration. We were interrogated, but we got out. We've been caught a few times, but never really badly. And the worst places we've been working have been, I mean, freedom of press wise, in Laos, probably in Tibet, in China, and in Myanmar. All of those places were really tough for journalists, but we would, Europeans, if something would have happened, we would have got out eventually. It's the local guys who are in the heat. In my opinion, the biggest problem in the Finnish press is that most of the journalists are very privileged people in this society. Most of us, we've been trained in the university. We know our friends are from these same kind of circles, academic people who are doing pretty well in this country. And I think we should less relate to these kind of people, especially as friends and as people who we kind of like understand more. If we understand too much the circumstances of the people in power, we kind of like forget those who don't have the power. Well, the heroes of the free speech, they are not found in the countries who are making the top 10 in the press freedom index. They are those people who work in the countries who are the last 10 or 20 countries or 30 countries in this same index. These people who are so courageous that they kind of like risk even their own lives in working to get the truth, get the relevant information into people's hands. It's of course it's more possible nowadays with the social media, with the digital time, but still it's also a really, really huge risk in many countries. And of course in some countries the perpetrators have won. They have been able to crush the free speech, but still there is those heroes around, and I respect those people more than anything.